we're going to listen to the redo for the 1AR in quarters of TOC between Leah and Travis on the CX checks debate. We think that Leah has potentially undercovered the CX checks debate a little bit, and that it can be covered a lot better by giving herself a lot more ammunition for the 2AR. In this round, it ended up being irrelevant because the 2NR collapsed to substance, but you're also going to listen to a speech where the 2NR goes hard for theory, and so it could become very relevant because we think that an easier win for Travis, though it would have taken longer in terms of time trade-offs and would have been less strategic in terms of time trade-offs, is theory, since the round is very clear there in terms of how arguments function, whereas the 2AR gets to significantly shift around what its arguments mean and how they function in the context of substance. And so that's an opportunity she doesn't get to have in the 2AR on a theory debate that she does get to have on substance. Please refer to the first video and flow along in full, and you'll understand what we're doing here in this redo and why we're doing it. And practice along at home, practice doing the redo, and then compare it to what you're about to hear.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, what's the order?
Just give me the show.
Okay.
Starting with counter-interpretation.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Counter-interpretation. You cannot force me to list out all the interpretation I can comply or conflict with if I defend an unconditional advocacy. This is the opposite counter-interpretation. If I win more often to an interpretation, you lose the debate before I interpretation because I have less AC point. You 2 AC time because I have to spend time listing out interpretation instead of actually engaging on substance. Instead of having 6 minutes on substance, I have 4 or 3 minutes on substance, which means that you'll always be ahead on substance in the debate. Basic point, you will always run theory. There's 50 or 60 different interpretations that I can comply or conflict with. If I miss one, that means that there's no recourse. That means that no recourse for the 1AR, even if I didn't mean to violate that shell in the first place. You'll always get access to bidirectional theory shells, which means that you always get to up layer and skew 1 AC times because making renders entire 1 AC relevant. The 1AR can't have access to 1 AC. C subpoint destroys any incentive for cross-check checks at A and B subpoint, which means that all the benefits or cross-check checks are disattached to your interpretation. First is substance education. That's cross-check checks allows me to comply to your interpretation and resume the debate on substance outweighs theoretical education because theoretical education literally has no value except within the right itself on track to group it to turn you. I force better violation. If there's a list, well, I comply to, then you'll never get a violation off me because I will comply to the interpretation I give you. Better theory ground or interpretation on the subpoints on the A subpoint. Turn, you force abuse to be more innocuous. For example, tricks debater won't list out their tricks. Instead, they will make their tricks look more like substance and hope that you'll drop the trick on the B subpoint. It's not unique because I have prep time to prep for the counter interpretation regardless of your interpretation or not. C subpoint 1, turn, clarifying interpretation and cross-examination takes only a few seconds. Correctly within this round, takes like 5 seconds for reading the interpretation. AC takes way longer. It takes like 2 or 3 minutes. Second is not unique. You have to clarify the interpretation regardless of your interpretation, or not. On the D subpoint 1, there's no warrant. Obvious and negative have an interpretation 2. Second, there's no warrant. Why you allow risk of abuse? Oh wait, I didn't do the weighing between hot flex. I should have done that. Yeah, I wrote the weighing down. Can I do that right now?
Yeah.
Outside sideways tracks you, A subpoint negative views, sideways after you said F are already at a time disadvantage, which means you prevent that B subpoint turns your tracks to Arvin. The firm is not flexible, then that means I don't have a clear strategy to win the round. C subpoint, always the magnitude of abuse. I have to spend so much time on the AC, however, there's no recourse over tracks to Arvin. You can simply ask and CX.
Okay. I think that you could have utilized CX on the Afflex for list out all the interps. Like, I would have said something like, CX was terrible for you on this issue. You would have literally had me write out in the 1AC that I will not comply to dropping all AF spikes.
Wait, what was the argument?
So, remember the conversation that was had between Leah and Travis in cross-examination about how Trav asked a question that, will you comply or conflict to dropping all AF theory spikes?
Right.
And Leah was like, no. Mm-hmm. And then the next cross-examination, Leah was like, so in your interp, I would have literally had to list out that I would not drop all AF spikes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so that's a great example of, like, you wouldn't have been able to predict that.
Okay. Sure.
Makes sense?
Uh-huh.
I think also, if you're going to come up with advantages to CX checks and number them, if you're going to say first you kill substantive education, there should be a second.
Right, uh-huh.
Yeah. So If it's gonna be first, there should be a second. Otherwise, just say you destroy incentives for CX checks because apps will stop including this argument in the world of your interp. This means all advantages to CX checks are disadvantages to your interp. Biggest one is you kill substantive ed.
Sure. Yeah.
I think also you can have like in general app abuse outweighs neg abuse arguments. Like empirics affirming is harder than negating. So hurting me is not that good. Like
Wait, so I thought when you phrase it like that, it's supposed to be neg abuse outweighs alpha abuse because neg abuse is more severe. Is it the other way around?
no, you're right. I'm phrasing it
Because
wrong. Neg abuse outweighs app abuse is the right way you should phrase it. But the argument here should just be look like a little bit of abuse for you against you is just counterbalancing the playing field since I'm at a disadvantage.
Sure, yeah.
But abuse against me exacerbates the skew.
Right.
Yeah. So I would have definitely included that weighing argument. I also think your answers to the C and D point on strat skew were really quick, and I didn't really understand. I didn't even get them flowed. I'm usually quite good at flowing theory, so probably need to do a little bit more work there. Yeah.
Sure.
I'd also just like contest Travis's warrant that the negative doesn't have a ton of theoretical interps it needs to defend.
Yeah.
The neg definitely does, like status of the CPs, whether it can read an NC framework, whether it can read multiple theory shells, if it can read a K plus theory, if its K alts need to be implementable.
Yeah, that was my first argument, but I made it too quick. I just say no warrant. Obviously, negative have interpretations they have to defend.
Yeah, and so I think listing out an example, right? Like, I would just say like, no warrant. Neg has tons of interps they need to defend. They need to defend their burden structure, status of CP, status of K alts, whether they can read numerous theory shells, whether they can read NC frameworks, what type of NC frameworks they're allowed to read, etc.
Sure. Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. So make all of those adjustments, and let's listen to the 2NR.
What version do you want to listen to first? The 1 minute or 5 minute
version? So we're gonna listen to. Let's listen to the 1 minute version first. But let me stop this video and make a new one.